All right. We want to welcome everybody to this special call today. My name is Ed Terranova. We're going to jump right in. We got Micah Third, who's ready to enter the room. Let's see where we got Micah. Bear with me.
I'm here.
Okay, dynamite. There you are. So real quickly, I'm just going to share that we've been talking a lot lately. We got through the holiday season. We're talking about amazing. There's so much going on simultaneously that I'm the type of person that I like to sit back, digest, understand, and then once I have a belief that we're in the right place and I could talk about it, I have enough knowledge to talk about it, then I kind of move to the forefront. I want to tell you, we got through the holidays. Here it is, the 17th day of January. For some of us, that number 17 is real special. If you're that type of person, congratulations, 17. This is the 17th day, and we are now ready to really get going for the year 2024. So much in front of us. Micah is working behind the scenes feverishly. Got a lot of stuff dialed in right now. So sit back, relax, take notes, and get ready to sprint. Micah Thayer, take it away, please.
Okay, thank you so much, Ed. So we wanted to do this call to help everyone get a deeper understanding of this technology that we call it a node system, because our system ties into everything that Miracle is doing. And there's also applications that we are building that will be, we call it on top of the nodes. And this particular product, as a person who has one, the charm, I would say, is that it ties into like everything that Miracle is doing on the transactional side. It's also something that it has a charm because it continues to produce revenue on a daily basis for as long as company runs. And almost, I was about to say the world spins, but that might be a little too much. But so we did a presentation. I'm not sure. There's a lot of people on the call today. Excuse me. That probably haven't fully taken it all in yet. But in the presentation that we have, just so that people can understand the nature of this thing called a node, is that it is a machine. And so I sort of draw a parallel between vending machines, ATMs, machines that perform a service that basically charges a fee. So I think because nodes are, they're virtual. They exist in this thing we call the cloud. And so it can get confusing because of that. But if someone was to say, well, it's a virtual vending machine, you'd have somewhat of an understanding. What does a vending machine do? Well, it collects the money and it gives the service. And, some vending machines that have products, it gives a product as well. An ATM would give, the money. So the service of transacting is what an ATM does. And there's a fee attached to that. So Miracle is a transactional company, and we're also building something called a decentralized exchange, which is also a transactional, functional smart contract. And so when someone owns a node, it basically has a piece of all the transactions that happen on Miracle, on the new decentralized exchange, and whatever other product that will come in the future that we will build. So we're focusing, a lot of our build is going to be around the nodes and the node platform. Now, someone who owns shares in any country in Miracle, which would be Metaterra shares, which, by the way, just so everybody knows, all the DCFs and the business plan and all the financials are now sitting with Rodo and Partner. It's a German accounting firm. They are now doing their work to audit everything, and very soon they'll be done with that. And then once they're done with that, they'll stamp it or authorize it, and then it becomes public information, which means that all of the valuations that we've been talking about will be official and public. So that's coming very soon. And so my point was that anyone who owns shares in Metaterra essentially owns a piece of everything as well. The difference with the nodes is that there's an ongoing payment that happens with nodes. So they're revenue generating, and they're also tied to a smart contract, which is 100% trustless. So as it happens, the payments will continue to be dispersed to the node owners. During what we call beta is that we haven't fully integrated everything yet. However, the function of starting the node and being awarded credits is happening right now. Those credits are linked to a certain amount of Phoenic, and Phoenic is the utility token that Miracle will be submitting to go live on exchanges in the first quarter here of 2024. So it is, once it's on exchanges, to a certain extent, you can connect it very closely to it being money. It's one step away or two steps away from money. So it is a payment that's coming now that is tied to a currency that will have a value on the marketplace. We can't predict, where that token value ends up being. Short term, medium term, long term is a little bit more predictable. Short term is a little bit less predictable. It all ties into how the market conditions are, and there's so many variables. I could speak for a very long time about that. So this call now, what we wanted to do is, first of all, I think we're going to present the promotion that we're doing that started yesterday and will go for the next 4 weeks. This is for those of you who feel they have friends, family, people that you've talked to that want to get this last sort of opportunity to get into something with our company that could be something that can change a life. Based on what we're seeing with what's happening with the industry and what's happening with our particular company, we believe that these nodes are very, very powerful and a great asset to own. For everyone, really. So, should we look at the documents? I think Melanie's working on it.
Yeah, I was getting ready. I was copying over the promo. So if you bear with me, I'll put that in there too. But yes, one moment.
Okay.
Yeah, let me pull up the FAQ. I love this, the way we put this together. And you guys, just so you know, this was Micah's idea. We were putting a document together, and he's like, you know what, let's convert this into an FAQ, because I think I asked the same question several times in different ways, just so that I could make sure that I understood everything, because I know if I'm struggling, I can imagine some of you are as well. And I've been around this. And so when you see the way this is laid out, I hope you like it, because to me, this format is extremely easy to understand. And I just wanted to give Micah the credit on that, because as soon as we converted it to an FAQ, I was like, boom, done. All right. So could everybody
Let me
see?
just also, before we get into this, just want to say, acknowledge that everybody knows that yesterday, Miracle Cash and More went live in Turkey. And there's only 5 other companies that are legally allowed to trade crypto in Turkey. Everything is working, integration with banks, integration with the government of Turkey. And we got opened really before, which is what's happening now. Turkey is introducing crypto regulations in the next few days. And so anyone who comes in after has to be structured in such a way that they can obtain that license, and it's going to be a lot harder. Those who are already operational and up and running will have, if there's anything in the regulations that that is not the company is not qualified for, they have 2 years to fix that. So we're anticipating a very, very, very successful run in Turkey, and marketing, from what I know, has started. So today, both in Turkey and in Europe, there are now deployment of marketing. Also, if you guys have seen, there's been a lot of football, and some people may not connect the dots here, but you know, in crypto, there's a lot of restriction on advertising crypto. There's also a lot of restriction on how to get press in crypto, because press and certain platforms don't allow direct marketing for a crypto company. So the way to do it is to come in as in a different way, and that's what the sort of sports approach is. So once that sports approach, then you can open sort of a back door to exposing and evolving the marketing through that. So I posted a couple of days ago, we had an article in the biggest publication in Turkey, excuse me, which is really, really powerful, with one of the biggest football players of all time in Turkey, which is, it's almost like having, you know, a Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant or Shaq or something speaking about your company and your product. So very powerful stuff.
Okay. I just posted the promotion in the chat window, but you guys will see it here as well. So let me share this. And once we're done our call today, I'll convert this to a PDF for all of you and I'll post it.
Okay, so we are finalizing everything, white paper. Everything is right now in the hands of very high-level experts in the field. These are people that are coming in who will share a little bit of the success of the token by coming in and basically consulting and advising and helping to make sure that we launch our project in the right way. Launching a token, it's not just the quality of the project, it's how you communicate the quality of that project. And it also has to do with a certain amount of timing, where, you know, one team that's working with us, they did 350 million in their launch. We have another team that's working with us, they did 50 million. And, you know, they're all saying the same thing. It's like you could launch the same token in different ways, and your results could be anywhere from 500,000 to 100 million or more. So it all has to do with a certain specific strategy. So We've put it into the hands of 2 or 3 different teams now that are all coming together. We have a super team that's forming around our launch. You know, on the books or on the paper, once you guys read the white paper, we are absolutely strong. But that doesn't mean that we could be perceived in a different light. So we have to do things the right way so that the market doesn't reject us. Okay. And so there's a very, very specific and, you know, a lot of do's and a lot of don'ts. So that's what we're checking off now. And so I hope that everyone supports us in that we're being very careful and we're dotting our I's and crossing our T's, and we're very, 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 very careful here because you can only launch a token one time. And depending on how you do it, could be the difference between many zeros. So if we can hit a huge number, obviously 20% of that huge number comes back to everyone who bought packages in our pre-ICO sales, and those numbers can become very big when we do our job right. And that's what we're working on now, making sure that everything is done to the best level that we can possibly do it at. Okay, so that was in regards to the launch. The node system is in beta mode, and it will stay in beta mode until we launch the Phoenic decentralized exchange called Leveler. So, you know, we're definitely pushing that launch date out in our target. We've learned from past to be careful in how we communicate this. So we're pushing it out as far as giving us the time to make sure that everything is right there as well, and then have that launched by Q3 of 2024. Node systems available, 20,000. That will be sold over many months, maybe years to get to that number. Currently, the node system earns 25 points a day, and the conversion rate is 14 Phoenic per point. Now, these are all beta before everything goes live. So these are basically, you know, beta allowance points that are distributed to the node owners. And once it goes live, what happens is it's real transactions, real revenue that gets distributed to all the node owners who are owners of the transaction itself. So when we've discussed the nodes, we've always said that with what happens on the actual payments, the money itself, that we would be happy with if the nodes have an ROI of 12 months. And, you know, I think those who are familiar with crypto, they know that a lot of the profits happen basically because of the token that you're getting paid in can increase in value by a lot. For instance, Kath is on the call now, and the tokens that she was paid in Gala, they went from less than a penny to over 65 cents, and that turned into millions and millions of dollars for her. And so the idea here is that we're working with the same multipliers, that the payments that are coming out is in a token that we're building a lot of value into, and a lot of value that it's being put behind this token. So we're anticipating that the nodes can definitely do the same here, if not bigger, when it comes to the profits. We can see that this could be an amazing asset to have that could, you know, people could be living off of the funds that are coming from running the nodes on a daily basis, passive income, basically. So we have it now that during the beta, we will have an allowance of $210 per node. So basically, that starts when Phoenic goes live onto the market. That program begins because the money's coming from the market. And so we would do the math once a month to see how many Phoenic you would have to sell to get the $210. Now, if you don't have enough Phoenic, depending on what the price is to reach that 210, then of course you wouldn't maybe be able to get the 210. But if you have a lot of Phoenic already saved up and you choose to sell all of it up to the 210, that's your choice. And some people could choose maybe not to sell because they don't want to sell Phoenic at a penny or 2 cents or 10 cents or 11 cents. And I'm putting all of this out there so that everybody understands that, anything can happen with Phoenic in the short term, because anything can happen with the market in the short term. There are, tokens or coins out in the market that they consider to be more stable and more safe. They've been around for a long time. They're usually up in the top 10. You got your XRPs, your ADA, your Ethereum. All of those are maybe less volatile than the smaller tokens or the newer projects. So people who want to play it safe in the crypto industry, they purchase, the top 10 coins, Solana and all those. But yet those tokens are also fluctuating maybe on an 80% margin. You could see a token reduce its value by that much. So here's the example then. If, for instance, Phoenic is at 35 cents, then you would only need to sell 600 Phoenic to get the $210. 14 cents, you'd sell 1,500 Phoenic to get to the 210. 10 cents, you'd sell 2,100 Phoenic to get to the 10 cents. So depending on Phoenic's price, that's how much you would liquidate to get the 210. Could there be a pause in the monthly allowance program? Yes, the 210 per month will be paused if Phoenic price falls below 2 zeros and a 1, 0.001, because at that point with the thousands of nodes, there would be billions of Phoenic that would be required, and it wouldn't make any sense to do the program at those prices. So that's just to protect you, protect Phoenic, protect the company. And, I'll have to put this out there. I'm going to talk this through with the company to see that once we go live, there is a argument to increase the amount of Phoenic you get per point if Phoenic sits at a much lower price. There is an argument for that, and I'll have that discussion. That's something that I'm discovering as I'm reading the document here. Who qualifies for the pre-ICO buyback program? So now this is the packages that were sold in the pre-ICO, the Phoenic. So everyone who got the friends and family and people who bought after that. So all previous and new node system owners will qualify for the buyback program. So what we're saying here is that if you have nodes and you never bought a Phoenic package, you still qualify for the buyback program that we specified in one of our presentations, and then you will also see in the white paper. That's when the company will take 20% of what it sells to the market and basically buy back the Phoenic from the people who bought them in the pre-ICO. Applies to purchases of any of our pre-ICO Phoenic token packages as well. So it's saying that both the node owners and those who bought Phoenic packages will be part of the buyback program. And this, for those of you who haven't heard about this, this is just something I guess in one way, it doesn't pertain, the packages don't pertain to this node program or anything like that. But we're talking about it because we were announcing that it applies to those who have Phoenic from running their nodes. How are pool shares distributed in the pre-ICO buyback program? Each Phoenic token owner receives 1 share in the pool, regardless of the amount of Phoenic or tokens owned. And here we're saying only 1 credit will be given, not double for the nodes and the Phoenic package. So if you have nodes and you also bought the Phoenic package, it doesn't mean that you will have 2 shares. You still get 1 share in the buyback program. And that goes for everyone. However, if you have either or, if you have only nodes or only the ICO, the pre-ICO package, you still get 1 share. When does the revenue distribution begin? So distribution payment day basically is 30 days after we go live. And so it gives that 30-day window for running the node, and then it's paid at the end of 30 days. When will beta allowance and buyback program end? So the Phoenic node system beta allowance ends when the Phoenic node system beta ends. So once we come out of beta, then this particular program ends and a new one begins. We haven't really specified what that is, but you know, and I won't get into too much of the detail of that, but it basically will mean that the nodes are starting to get paid on the revenue that it's happening. So there might be some other things that we do there that we will announce a little bit later on. Now, the buyback program it will end after 18 months, and this will be in the white paper. There's some information in the white paper that will be shared once we release that, but the buyback program will run for 18 months. When will the white paper be released? So the Phoenic white paper is, I would say it's done. Now it's sitting in the hands of people who have launched tokens before, and they're just looking to find if we have any things that will hurt us, anything that that is not going to work for us but work against us, and to make sure that there's nothing in there that is going to hurt the project. And once we have that, then we can go on and release the white paper to the world. So we have promotions for the next 4 weeks, and basically it's when there's nodes being bought. If there's several nodes bought, then there will be some perks. So anyone who buys 3 will actually receive 4. Anyone who buys 5 will receive 7. Anyone who buys 10 will receive 15. So someone who owns 10, that would be 10 times 210 plus 5 times 210 on a monthly basis paid during the beta launch, as long as token value stays above 0.001. Is there a sale incentive? Yes, if someone sells 5 nodes, they themselves will receive 1 free node for themselves. The promotional period runs from the 16th of January to the 13th of February. That's 4 weeks, 4 calendar weeks. Are there any potential modifications to the details? So all details are subject to change. The only reason we would change anything would be to make it better, or to make sure that there's no nothing in there that hurts the project. And so, like I said, I'm going to put it out there right now. I will talk to the company about that. The amount of Phoenic that gets distributed can match the 210. So that's the one thing that I'm seeing here that could be an issue, but I'd like for it to actually be 210. So I don't think that's going to be an issue at all. I just didn't catch it until now. So I just saw a question about shares. This is a node call. This is not a shares call. So we want to keep these questions to this topic, so that it doesn't go all over the place. So let's see. How do we do this as far as questions go?
I would say for those that want to raise their hand can raise their hand. And like Micah said, let's keep it to nodes only so that we have these as categorized and theme project specific for this call. And then, but if you don't want to raise your hand and speak, you can leave it in the chat and I'll read it out loud.
We actually
Okay.
in there we didn't have the price for the notes.
I was
The
getting ready to add that in. Thank you.
Yeah.
2,500. So I'm going to add that in to the document.
And our idea is that, as this project evolves, we'll end up with nodes that, for instance, Gala started at 800, now they're 90,000. So we have a schedule of having at the end of this that they're at 40,000, and we have a target that every node, that we will be able to do an ROI on any price that the node is. So then our target for the end of this is that each node should be paying out the price of the node. So if we get to 40,000, that means the nodes should be earning $40,000 a year. If we get to 30,000, they should be earning 30,000 a year. So, it's $2,500 price for this. It basically represents having your own business that you have very little responsibility for, which is basically just click a button once a day, and it runs and it pays every day, pays Sunday through Saturday. It can have clients anywhere in the world. It's international instantly. It lives inside of homes across the world. Anyone who accesses the services online, decentralized services, the nodes are getting paid. So, we see it as an amazing opportunity to own something that is virtual digital and doesn't cost anything. There's no rents to pay, no employees, nothing. It's basically a virtual machine that generates revenue.
Here's
Okay.
a great question. Here's a great question from Shar. Can you transfer a node to another user if you use a complementary one? And I'm just thinking about the back end and,
Okay, so let me say yes to that with just a little bit of a, I have to confirm it, but for us, there's no problem with someone wanting to sell a node to someone else or have the nodes be something that you can sell. I believe that brings value to the nodes in a different way. So I don't see any problem with that, but we will confirm it because I just don't want to take that authority to say that's how it is. But I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to sell that digital asset. It wouldn't make sense to limit that. So I would say yes to that, but with just that little side thing of confirming it.
This is another question. If I buy 2 nodes today, 3 more next week, does that count as buying 5 and get 2?
Yeah, because inside of the 4 weeks, that's where we are judging everything on. So if someone buys 1 today and 2 or 3 weeks from now, that counts. As long as it's the same, same person. As far as like being able to move those nodes, that's another thing that I don't know when that would be possible. Some of the things that we want to do, we can't move on them as fast as maybe we would want to, because it involves certain work that the IT department needs to do. And there's a huge list that the IT department is working on ongoingly. So it does take some time to put these services in place, I guess you could say.
As long as they've not logged in and claimed it and turned it into, converted it over to the node website or application, it shouldn't be a problem at all. I'm already thinking about the ones that were asking for the complimentary one. Just, communicate with us. I think Ken is on here. He's the one I'm going to be having help with that distribution of the free ones, making sure that's all accounted for and documented. So it would be that I would, if you bought the 5, got 1 free, just communicate that to us, and we will make sure that before we distribute it, that free one to you, that it's being sent to wherever you'd like, and that we've documented the paper trail. I don't understand this question. Can you let us know where the node recovery program is at? So I don't know, Raymond, if you want to clarify that.
Node recovery program. Don't know that.
Yeah, so the nodes go live at the end of the first quarter, then we will get 210 per node until we get out of beta in September. Do you want to maybe clarify that? I wouldn't say the September is accurate.
Sure. Regarding an email that was sent to certain people that bought nodes from a different program.
I'm sorry, say that one more time, Raymond.
Apologies.
Oh, you're talking about that. Yeah, those, once we get through this part, then we will do those, because those are basically a kind of a gift from the company for those people who were hurt by another company. So we're doing that as a courtesy. Yeah. So that comes after the stuff that we need to do for the people who are here as paying for these particular nodes.
Thank you. So the nodes go live at the end. Let's talk about this timeline here for them. It says, the question is, so the nodes go live at end of first quarter, and then we will get 210 per node until we get out of beta in September. That's her question. So
the thing that's still not like the exact, because of giving this project and having basically a super team of launch, we don't have an exact date until these teams come together. When do we go live? And so once we have that and we have the exact plan for that, then 30 days after live is when the first payment comes of 210 per node. And then it will go every month, every 30 days after that, until we come out of beta, and then it switches over to where the nodes are earning from the transactional events that are happening with the other products.
Perfect. Barry, hang on. I'm going to get through these messages and then I'll call on you. Let me just get through these. Is there a way in the future to use our Phoenic tokens as credit towards purchasing nodes?
Yeah, so the Phoenic buyback program will give everyone money. And so in that, you can use that to buy anything you want, really. Can you buy direct from us? I don't believe that will be how it will be done. Not until we get out of the first few months of Phoenix onto the market, until we know that Phoenix is doing well and stable. We could see, and this is one of those things, you know, if someone knew what was going to happen with the token short term, that person would be a billionaire, because they would know what happens with the tokens short term, and they would just buy them and wait for them to go up. So no one has that capacity. It just doesn't exist to be able to predict the future like that. So we have to wait to see what happens when we go live. We're going to do every single thing that we know how to do to make sure that the project, you know, goes on onto the market in the best way possible. Then how the market responds is an unpredictable thing. You know, people have been buying XRP now for 2 years, waiting for it to go into 10, 20, 30, $40. And everybody's talking about it's going to happen soon, but they don't know. When it comes to a new project, it could be a little bit more predictable because you're coming onto the market never before seen. But again, you have to do things the right way to have a good, predictable, good launch, which I believe we're doing everything possible for that. So we just have to see when that happens.
Yeah.
It's funny, I'm saying these things and then I get the questions.
Yes, yes. So, and I think it's fine if we're repeating this information, because sometimes people word their questions similar, but then, you know, Todd here is kind of saying something I think you've already mentioned, but I think we should talk about that, and that time, why we are doing this ROI. You know, his question here, so we have to wait until September or later to be able to realize any income from this, and then it will potentially be a year from then to recoup initial. Explain maybe how that could, you know, be a shorter time period or a longer time period. You know, shorter in that, you know, if based on where our Phoenix price is at, you know, there are many ways. I don't know if
If you look at the buyback program, that could be everything in 1 month. You can get what you paid for the nodes. You can get, you know, more than that in the first month. If you go by, let's say you only have the nodes and you go by the monthly beta payment, then it would take a year on the price of 2,500, which most people didn't pay. Even now, very few people paying 2.5. If they buy more than one, it's less than that. So depending on what you paid for your nodes, it would come back in the beta slowly and surely. And 100% on your money in anything is fantastic. Most people can never in their lifetime achieve 100% on their money in a year. Now, do we want more than that? Yes, we want more than that, because we want these things to pay for the next 20, 30, 40 years ongoingly, every day of the week, all year. So this is a machine that's not there to, you know, make someone rich in 2 months. It's there to pay for your life for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm. A question here from Barry. I think what he's asking is, will the white paper be released and then the Phoenix token launch immediately following? So our intention is, you know, we'll release the white paper.
Yeah, so website, white paper, you know, there's influencers, marketing, all kinds of things that happen around all of it. Then as that is fully realized, then launch into the market. You have to create an awareness for the buyers to be there. But then, you know, we have, you know, different people working different networks. So those things come together, you launch, and then you hope to do millions and millions in your first month. And that's sort of what we're looking to do.
Gigi's asking about, is there another chat other than our Telegram group? So maybe if somebody wants to send the Facebook link and post that in here. Kyle, sorry, not sure if anyone asked, will we be able to run our nodes 24/7 once Phoenix is launched?
Yeah, so we're gonna want to create a 24-hour window. So anytime during those 24 hours, if you run it, you'll get credit for that day, and then there'll be another 24 hours. So, I spoke to a group that can't run them for a certain period of time, 1 day a week, and made sure that they knew that as long as you run them inside of a 24-hour window, at some point, that should be fine. So if there's something now that doesn't allow for that, then I'll talk to IT to make sure that that's made available.
If I already own 2 nodes and buy 1 more, will I get the complimentary node, or do you need to buy 3 nodes now to get the complimentary?
Yeah, so this promotion is, now, right? So it starts and it runs 4 weeks. Inside of those 4 weeks, you need to do those additional, and those 3 or 5 or 10.
Right. Hi, Scott. Hello. Will nodes run manually, or will it be automatic after beta? I think our ultimate goal is
So
to have
regulations on nodes is it's only a node if you're taking an action. So that's sort of the rule and regulation on that. But we will be sure to make it so that you can do it from your phone. So you just log in, hit a button, and you're done. So it's not like you got to rush home and go to, open your laptop or anything. So it will be an easy thing, but it is a regulatory thing. If it's just automatic, it's not really an activity that you are involved in. And there's different types of node systems. So in this particular setup, I believe that's what we are obliged to do.
Moana's asking, can I sell my Phoenix for a node every month?
In a buyback program, that's what I said. In a buyback program, you will make money, and then with the money, you can buy a node.
Yep. So if I don't have 10 nodes, but did buy the Phoenix ICO package in Miami, you can sell back 2,100 Phoenix per month. Maybe clarify that.
Yeah. And if you own a package, then you would be part of the buyback program, but you won't be of the node beta rewards program. You'll just be in the buyback program. And that, just so everybody knows, we don't know how much that is, because that has to do with how much the company is selling into the market. And then 20% of that goes and is divided up with all the ICO or the Phoenix package holders.
You and I have had several conversations about this recently, and I'm going to ask it since it's on here in an effort for transparency. What happened with the mini nodes? A lot of people are asking that, and I think this is the conversation to have, at least how you want to.
Yeah, so the mini nodes was an early conversation that we had, that we were looking at tying something to Boogie Golf for the NFT. We are still looking to do that, but because of the nodes, because of the other parts to everything that we're doing is higher on the priority list, we haven't reached that place yet to shape that program and to execute on that. So that is coming. There was some communication that happened in Miami that was maybe a little bit premature, and we apologize for that. But everything that we've said that we are going to do, we will honor that, and mini nodes was one of those. So that will be something that we will put together, and once we have it we will release it. We just don't want to beta the mini nodes. We don't feel that's appropriate. So we'd rather have the actual mini nodes when the leveler is up and running and it makes sense for that.
Mike, just going to mention, since this conversation is all about nodes, I'm going to kind of scroll down to the next topic, nodes in Phoenix today, node system. We've already addressed this, but let's just say it again. When will the buyback for Phoenix be? Sometimes we mention it a couple times.
A buyback. So Phoenix goes live,
Yep.
goes onto the market, goes into the exchanges. The public now is buying Phoenix, and the company is in charge of selling Phoenix into the market as the main seller of Phoenix. Now, all of that happens all over the world, in Asia, in Europe, in the United States, and buyers from the vast universe of crypto enthusiasts have seen our project, like our projects, and are buying. So once that happens, we get liquidity from the world, not just from our small community, it's out in the world. And that puts us in a much bigger position to generate that capital from people who are interested in owning Phoenix, being part of that project with the casinos and the stores and all of that. It's an exciting project. They're saying that, you know, we do things right. We could do millions and millions and millions and millions. And a percentage of that is millions and millions. And that then goes back to each person who has a package. So I would say visualize a powerful, amazing launch. See us selling millions and millions and millions and millions. See you getting thousands and thousands and thousands from those sales. And I believe we can create that together. And that could really be, we could go from wanting, you know, to know when we're going to get paid. And then we can go from that to like absolute amazing distribution from Phoenix being on the market. So the only thing that I would say is just be aware that the reality is that you can screw it up or you can do it well. And right now, you know, I'm just looking at what the teams are saying, how they want to do this, because you have to create a demand. We have to have messaging that goes out and content and stuff where there are people out there that love our product, love our project, and want to own that token, and that's who we will sell to. And so we have influencers, we have marketing, we have a lot going on. I believe we have a super team to do just that, but that has to be done the proper way. So just have an understanding that that's what we're doing. And you know, I was on a call yesterday, we'll be on a call tomorrow, and everything is coming together and will happen in this quarter. And we hope for, you know, an amazing result from that.
These next two questions, I think, are asking the same thing, but they're using different dollar amounts and neither are correct. So here we go. So are you going strictly off of 280 US dollar versus number of tokens? So let's correct the dollar amount and why we're doing dollar versus number of tokens. Let's start with that one.
If you get ROI means return on investment. So usually in investments, you look at how long is it going to take for someone to get full return on an investment. And so if it's 12 months, a year, which we've always said, let's keep the payments above ROI of 12 months, no matter what price the node is at. So if we end up selling nodes for $10,000, our goal is to pay out $10,000 to each node. So in this beta space, we said, well, why don't we do that so we can start paying the node owners, and let's make it so that it's a 12 months ROI on $2,500, which is about $210 a month. So then we set it at that. And how we will achieve that is basically, it's however much the Phoenic is in the market. So if the Phoenic is 10 cents, then you need to sell 2,100 Phoenic to achieve the $210. So that's what we're doing to be able to achieve $210 per node. We spoke with IT and everything because we're setting everything up so that that's functionally, that we're able to do that functionally. It has to do with each account knowing and releasing that exact amount. So there's certain functions that have to be coded into the system to be able to achieve this for thousands of people, all at the sort of same time. So we are now in intense meetings, making sure that by the time we get there, it works flawlessly. So at the end of 30 days, you have 10 nodes, you go boom, and you sell enough Phoenic to get $2,100 into your account. So that would be either happening, directly on Miracle, automation, or it could happen if you chose to do it that way, that you would go on to another exchange, for instance, and you sell it there. So those tokens are released and given to you. Some people may choose not to sell because they want to hold on to Phoenic. Let's say Phoenic that particular week or day or whatever is 10 cents, and you feel that Phoenic is worth a lot more than that, which I believe it is. Or you want to hold on for long term until Phoenic, becomes, $1 or $2, whatever in the future. It's all up to each person, but they will have the option to do the sale and get the money during those days, during the beta launch.
Okay, when will we receive the free, they put 1,100 Phoenic, it's actually 1,111, and IT is fully aware of that. Don't worry, it will be distributed. We're putting all of our man hours on these projects, but that was a free gift from Hakan to our community, so it will be delivered.
Yeah, and also on the, those of you, that you run your nodes and you only see points now. So we have all the data on what those points mean, how many Phoenic they mean, because there's nothing to do with that Phoenic until after the Phoenic launches on the exchanges. We're sort of saying about a week or two after, we will credit everyone's account with the Phoenic. So what will happen is the points will disappear from the node site, and Phoenic will appear in your Miracle Cash and More accounts. So that will then convert what you've earned into your Miracle Cash and More account at that point. And then it'll continue to generate more points, which will turn into Phoenic. And I'm not sure if it's going to convert every day, but also it should be coded to show in your node account as well. So the points and the Phoenic, it might convert right away to show you actual Phoenic, and then maybe you'll have a button where you send that Phoenic yourself to your Miracle Cash and More account.
Perfect. And I'm not sure I understand this question, but can I sell my Phoenic equivalent to node price for 1 times per month instead of selling equivalent to 1,000 USD? That was from Moana. I sell my Phoenic equivalent to node price for 1 times per month instead of selling equivalent to 1,000 USD. I'll move on if she wants to
answer that. I mean, like, you can sell as much as you want. So if you want to sell 1,000 or 500 or 4,000, as long as you have that amount of nodes, so someone who has 5 nodes can sell, 1,000 something dollars worth, because it's 5 times 2, 10. And someone who doesn't have that couldn't obviously sell that much. So, but if you want to sell less, you can do that as well. That's up to you.
When is the launch on the exchange? We've already discussed that. And then they followed up with stock market. Do you want to maybe explain a little bit about the, you know, the verbiage stock market in this conversation? That's not.
Well, stock market relates to securities and shares. So they may be referring to our shares, which is a different conversation. We're going to stick to this conversation here. We can do one just like this again for the Metaterra shares and everything. No problem. We just don't want to confuse the two different subjects because it gets messy. So we'll stick to Phoenic and nodes on this one.
All right. Can someone sell their Phoenic tokens to someone within the group?
We don't have an issue with someone selling to someone else. We just would need to, again, I don't believe there's a function to move them yet. And so that would maybe be a function of moving them inside of Miracle Cash and more. There may not be, like, you may not be able to do that because we're not allowing people to just send a Phoenic off of the platform, because that unlocks Phoenic, and then we would have the situation that we don't want, which is where everybody's pulling it out, everybody's selling it, and then Phoenic goes, you know, to below the price that we charged in the pre-ICO sales. That we don't want. We want to keep Phoenix price high, and we want to work that price up. So when you finally do get all of your Phoenix released, you get it released to a Phoenix price that's, you know, much higher than what you bought it for. And hopefully it's up there, you know, to where once it's released, those who bought the packages in Miami can call themselves millionaires. That's our ultimate goal with all of the strategies that we're doing here, is to get that effect. And anything, you know, because we get pushed every day, we get people who are maybe a little bit upset. And, you know, we keep reminding ourselves that what we're doing is to get people the results that they ultimately want, that we want them, the results to be to where everyone who bought the Friends and Family 1111 package become a millionaire from that one package. That's a goal. It's not an easy thing to do. It takes a lot of planning and it's very tough to get everything to fit and everything to go the right planning the right way. And you have to take your time. You can't mess with it, because you go out the wrong way. It's so hard to get the respect back from the industry, because they'll come after you and destroy you, and it could be something that you can't recover from, you know. So instead of that happening, or the risk of that happening, would be us not honoring your support, not honoring what you guys did by coming in and putting your money behind us. So even though we get pressure, even though we get people who are upset with us, we still have to make sure that we do things the right way. And, you know, the thing about, like, I want to get paid today, or, you know, is this really going to happen? And, you know, we have messages like, if you don't do this by this date, this and this will happen. Like, we get that all the time. It's a lot of uncomfortable, you know, communication that comes to us sometimes, but we're not going to let you guys down. I'm sorry, but we are going to do the thing that we're here to do, which is to put several zeros behind your name. You know, we want that package to make people a millionaire. That's everything we're planning for, is for that.
I'm now at Carlos's post so congratulations to him and his wife celebrating 12 years today. Congratulations to him. Raphael asking buyback program. It is going to be in the white paper and the little bit that I put in this FAQ that will also be posted.
And
uh,
I'll address, I know the environment out there is tough for everyone. You get people sending you links to articles and things like that. And we understand that's a tough environment. If I let myself go into that space, it infuriates me in a sense, because there's no real reason. These people aren't involved in our project. They have nothing really. It's really just, it just throws me. So we understand that comes to you. We can understand that it's uncomfortable, like if you read it, of course, there's going to be like, could this be true? Could this be true? But I assure you, like, there's, you cannot get to a point of being up and running, having an exchange, doing all these things. If any of that was true about us, even, someone who used to, work with us now sitting, just spewing out basically lies. There's lawsuits that are going to happen now because of it and things like that. And I guess that's just the nature of business. You end up in these situations when you do big projects. And it's just, you can't get away from it, can't get around it. You just have to deal with it. And that's what we're doing. And I, apologize that you guys have to go through that. It's not fun.
Can I actually, there was something that I've been seeing, and I think only because you're bringing this up that I thought I'd maybe set the record straight in regards to, it's been brought up about our holiday parties. And I don't know if Micah has seen those videos, but I'm going to bring it up because I actually was personally offended by this. And the comment was that we threw a party on Saturday night for a group of people that did not match the party that was thrown on Tuesday night to a larger group of people. And there were some, comments made in regards to that. And I thought, you know what, if they only understood really the intention behind that party. I'm the one that threw the party on that Saturday night, and it was for our sales and support team. That was me and Micah and Ray celebrating our sales and support team for our company. The other party was a miracle party that everybody was invited to as well, but I was flying out the next day on Sunday. So we did it separately because I genuinely wanted to celebrate them. And the comment about the spoons going around the table, and that's the only way they could earn the $200. I've been hearing this. And I'm so angry because I'm like, we had so much fun with that game, and it was an incentive, and it was for fun. There was no hidden agenda. There was nothing about separating these.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, they got two parties.
They did.
Sales and support.
So if those people
and
that
I have to say, if there's anything, I don't know if anyone's reading this stuff, but I was really happy because the year before, Miracle's party was in a small restaurant, and then it was on that level, which I think is amazing, that we've grown and we've become, so much bigger in just a year. And this is during the time that everyone in crypto was having a hard time. So our company is shining bright through the tough times. So you can imagine what happens when crypto really goes into the bull market. It's a different environment. It's incredible. There's a lot of happy faces, a lot of people who, they buy their tokens, and 3 days later they're double and then quadruple, and all this stuff is happening, and it becomes like a frenzy. And I think the next one is going to be even more so. And maybe, just maybe, God's looking out for us, and we are coming to market with that event of the crypto bull market explosion. And the timing of everything could be impeccable for us, Maybe we've been slowed down. Maybe we've been thrown curveballs to slow us down so that we enter and actually open at the right time and can catch that wave. Because the wave is really, billions and billions of dollars entering the market. That's there for us to be able to capitalize on. So that's just something to think about. Just consider these things. All these things happen for a reason, and it could be just all good news for us.
Yeah. So to clarify, the Tuesday Miracle Party was all inclusive of everybody. Everybody was welcome. The Saturday party that was prior was for our sales and support team. And it genuinely was a beautiful, fun, heartfelt event that was more intimate. So
Another news today was Ebru is being in what do you say? She's becoming official member of the Parliament of North Cyprus. She is like very, 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 very close to the Prime Minister, and he is looking at her as his successor. So that's a very amazing thing for us in the company, because we have the wife of Hakan as the Prime Minister of North Cyprus. You can imagine that may help Miracle a little bit when it comes to what's happening in North Cyprus. So I have this vision that we do things in North Cyprus with the blockchain that becomes a model for the world, like maybe voting. The first country in the world where voting is on the blockchain. It could be North Cyprus. I mean, we're actually in the position to have, the electrical company use us, where people can pay their electrical bills with crypto. That's already there. So there's so many things going on in the home country of Cyprus, and also in Turkey as well. There's a lot of great things happening there.
This was a good question by Aurora. Can you choose to be in the buyback program month to month?
Yeah, so it's something that you trigger. So if you want to do it, you'll do it. If you don't, you just won't do the swap, So it's basically will be like a swap. You swap from Phoenic to USDT, for instance, and then that's how the company buys your Phoenic back. So there'll be some sort of indicator there, like you can buy back $3,000 worth, and then you'll go do that. Or you can choose to keep your Phoenic depending on what you're seeing as far as the price goes. That's going to be optional month to month.
Linda is asking, I'm in the process of purchasing a note as of yesterday, which was the beginning of our promotion. I have made a down payment and will be completing full payment by next week. Will I qualify for the promotion if I purchase 2 more nodes? Yes, because it started yesterday. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Perfect. Can you walk through an example of how one node pays out based on 25 points daily at 14, etc.? That's from Tammy.
Okay, so the 14 won't apply because when we go live, the market dictates the price of Phoenic. So the 14 is not part of the equation. Whatever that number is what the market is at. So if the market's at 30 cents, then the number is 30. If the market's at a penny, the number is 1 penny. Now, what I was saying at the beginning of this call is I'm going to confirm and make sure that each node does enough Phoenic to make that 2100. That's the one thing that I caught as I was reading this, is like, wait a minute, the math has to change for us to achieve the 210 in the conversion. And I hadn't caught that until now. So that conversion has to also match. So what I'm saying is that it's going to be enough Phoenic that you earn to make that $210 payment happen. The only time it doesn't happen is when we go below 0.001. Then the program has to pause. If that happens, don't believe that will happen, but if it does, then at that stage there'll be, too much Phoenic going out for it to be sustainable. So it would break a little bit our Phoenic node program. So that's why it would pause at that point.
Okay, this next question is from George. It's a little long, so bear with me. What are the max amount of coins that the company will continue to sell at 35 cents until they stop? We've not gone that route yet, but I'm going to read the whole thing here. Will the coins be available on an exchange after the company sells them? If so, would this not create two prices for the coin if people were able to go to an exchange and sell? What if the price on the exchange goes below 35 cents before the company sells the max amount? Outside of the 20% that will go to early token holders from sales, where will the remaining 80% go to? Will all of it go to liquidity, or a portion of this money be used for other purposes? How many coins out of the 111 billion does the company plan to have in circulation for 2024, a guesstimation?
So that's really what the white paper does, is gives you all of those rules. And the premise of the question is there's a misunderstanding by the person asking the question when it comes to the 35 cents. So when you go on to the market, you're going to have people out there that will buy your coin. There will be people out there that want to buy it so they can sell it. And the market's demand dictates where the price sits. So if no one wants to buy at 35 cents, it's not going to be 35 cents. It'll be 34, 33, 32, whatever. So the 35 cents would be an entry position for the company to achieve. But in how it is, if no one wants to buy Apple stock at 300, guess what? Apple stock goes to 299. If no one wants to buy it at 299, Apple stock goes to 298, 97, 93. Whatever that threshold is, whoever's willing to sell at that price and whoever's willing to buy at that price is where the price ends up being. It's always looking to find the balance between the sellers and the buyers, and there's an algorithm that makes that happen. It's the same thing in crypto. There's an algorithm that allows either the coin to increase in price, like why is Bitcoin $43,000 today, and a year ago it was 16,000, right? And I don't know if anyone can even answer that question. I mean, they say because the halving is near, every time the halving of Bitcoin is near, it continues to go up, and then after a certain point, it crashes back down. So it's basically like there's a million different reasons why a coin is the price that it is. So when we say, okay, we're going to go onto the market at 35, it means we're going to start at 35. See if there's buyers at 35. If there isn't, it will go lower. If there is, it could go higher. So the market dictates that. We are going to sell based on having expert traders on behalf of Miracle be market makers, making the market on our behalf. And, we have a goal of a certain number that we want to sell. If that goal happens at 1 cent, it would be okay. It wouldn't be the end of the world. We would love for it to happen at 40 cents. We would love for it to happen at 35 cents or even higher than that. But no one can predict, what happens. But there's certain things that happen in the market that will allow us to hit a certain number. that number helps us with all the other projects. It helps us with the casino projects. It helps us with this. It helps us with that. There's a lot of benefits that come to us with the successful Phoenic launch. Then when we get to April, we will be in a position to monetize our shares in the market, in the NASDAQ market. That's millions and millions and millions of dollars as well that comes in to, you know, back and fund everything that we're doing. And then we build from there. So then we have all these different ways for the company to bring more funds in, reinvest those into infrastructure, reinvest those into building more stores, you know, hiring more expert people, you know, so it all kind of comes into the company to be used to become a stronger and stronger company in the world. Now, we're operating inside of an, you know, it's a somewhat of a new industry, but it's an insanely powerful industry. In my presentation, where we were talking about exchanges and the value of this industry, I was saying that, you know, Binance advertises that they do $7 trillion a year in transactional volume. A small percentage of that, if it's like 0.4, then Binance has a revenue of $40 billion. Now, if you just did a value of the company on a $40 billion, say, profit, for instance, then you have a $400 billion company. And that's not even taking into consideration what is the value of the data that they have? What is the value of each customer they have? I mean, there's so much. And, you know, Binance may be the most profitable company in the world, you know, at this point. Then we don't even know, because it's all happening inside of crypto, and maybe crypto isn't being reflected, you know, as money would in a situation like, I don't know who's the biggest company now. I think it might be PayPal or SpaceX or Tesla or Apple. I think Apple maybe is at the top right now. But for Binance to do that in 6 years with a very small part of the world that have actually embraced crypto so far, but it continues to grow. And we may see that tipping point event where all of a sudden, you know, you have everybody flocking into crypto. Some kind of event happens, some kind of thing happens where all of a sudden everyone's in crypto. It's kind of happened in the internet. I think what really made the internet like a place where everybody came to, I think Facebook had a lot to do with it. It became a social meeting place, and that brought everything together, you know, and then now you see everybody's doing everything online. But before that, I remember I was, you know, online a lot, but it wasn't like everybody was, you know. So there will be that event where all of a sudden you just see like everybody coming in crypto. And at that point, you know, us being there, compliant, regulated, the only company with stores in the different countries, you know, and then all of that volume coming into crypto, you know, that could make us one of the top companies in the world as well, at that point. So that's what we're building Miracle to be. We're building it to be the Amazon of crypto. And that's sort of like how Amazon built their business. I remember looking at Amazon every year in the news. I made a mental note of it. They said, this year again, Amazon lost X amount of millions, you know, and the next year, Amazon lost X amount of millions this year. And I remember thinking to myself, when is Amazon going to make money? But if you understand business, what they do is they on purpose lose money. They lose money every year, but what they were gaining was customers. They were investing back into the company to get more customers, to get more customers, to get more customers. And then once they got to a certain place, they turned it and flipped that knob and became, you know, one of the biggest companies in the world. And it's about market share. It's about owning the market, controlling the market, getting the customers. And to do that, you have to build a solid foundation. And I believe we're doing that with the approach that we have in this industry, being local and being regulated, licensed, following the rules. I believe that we have that capacity to be one of the top crypto companies in the world.
Todd is asking, do we need to keep doing the daily runs right now if it does not convert to Phoenix and start paying until later? In regards to nodes.
Well, when you run it, you get your points, and the points turn into Phoenix. So if you don't run it, you don't get the points and you don't get the Phoenix. So anyone can choose to not run it, but probably would not be good because you don't get those points that convert to Phoenix.
Awesome. And
So
Judith,
just so everybody understands, everyone is making money on their nodes now. They're just not able to convert it into usable money yet. So when that beta thing happens, that's the first time they'll be able to convert into usable money, and then that'll continuously increase over time.
and Judith has been so patient. I think I went through all the comments. If I missed one, it was not intentional. I promise it was not intentional. Judith has waited patiently. Judith, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I don't want to segue against this, but I just want to ask, when we talked about January and the tokens, so it will kind of coincide with the nodes, are we still going to do that process where we get a little bit of money from the tokens, whatever that is, $1,000 a month or 2,000, or is this in lieu of the tokens?
That's the buyback program I think you're talking about. So when I presented that the first time, I used the low number on purpose because I didn't want to use a high number and then people think or would think that it's the high number and then all of a sudden it's a lower number. So basically it's a percentage of what's being sold in a market that will go towards everyone who has a package, an ICO package. That number will change depending on how much we sell. Now, the number I used was like $2 million, which, you know, you don't do $2 million. You did a horrible job launching the token. So we're looking at doing a much bigger number than that. That is our vision and goal. You know, there's companies that have done 50 million, 100.
Yeah, and then it was
So the percentage of that ends up being a big payday for everybody.
right.
But just being careful with how I communicate that, because, you know, I'd rather have you guys be pleasantly surprised than disappointed, right? So I used the number of $1,000 for the purpose of an example of how the math would work. So that people understood the math.
Right.
So if you go back and look at that, it's just about the math. 20% of, I think it was $2 million is $400,000. If there's 400 people that split that, that becomes 1,000 each. But if it's 10 million, obviously it's going to be 5 times that. If it's 20 million, it's got, you know, so those numbers change depending on performance, depending on how the market receives us. And that's again, something that we wish we could predict, but we can't. So we hope for the best and we're going to do our best. And that's why I'm saying for everybody is just visualize huge success.
Visualize it. And if that comes to fruition, the 20%, then we would buy back. We would
love, I mean, I would love for everyone to be able to get 10 grand, 20 grand.
So that's one thing. So explain to me the beta. So we have another about 3 months, right? So we're collecting, you know, our points, etc. Is that what I don't understand? The token's going to go on the market before the 3-month period. So I don't understand the beta part as far as, since we've been running our nodes, now for about, what is it, about 3 months, would you say? Since I was one of the first people to, get the nodes, is that going to be on a point system, or that's where I'm
So
confused.
you have from running it, you have a savings account of
Okay.
Phoenix.
Okay.
That is there. It's yours. It's
Okay.
basically like money sitting there in a savings account.
Okay.
Liquidating that, the way that we are having people who have nodes have access to the money is through the buyback program first of all. So the Phoenix that's been earned up to this point can be sold in the buyback program, which I just described to you, right? So, but if you have the packages and you have the nodes, then that kind of becomes one thing for that person. But if someone just had the nodes and they didn't have a Phoenix package, they can participate in the buyback program. And that's where they would get their, $1,000, $2,000, whatever dollars every month from the buyback program. The other thing.
So do my points, just, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but just my points then, if I buy more nodes or I sell more nodes, let's say I buy a node and I sell 2, right? And then I get 1 free. Is that still something that I can do? I could buy 1 and sell 2 and get 1 free. Can those points all be pulled together with what I've done in beta and then decide what I want to do? If it goes to 35 cents or it goes to 50, I can hold on to it and then make a determination whether I want to buy back.
So, so what we're trying to do is make sure that people know that they can get 210 per month during beta. That's what we wanted to achieve. So for every node, we want to achieve the 210 for everybody per month. But that's just what you're able to take into your hands. There could be way more points that you're saving in addition to that. And of course, it's an everlasting machine that will continue to produce after beta into the actual, when we go live with the exchange and everything. So it's a continuous thing for years and years and years. That's the value of the node. So all of the points that you've earned so far is a savings account. Once we go live with Phoenix, a couple of weeks after that, we will convert those points into Phoenix that will sit in an account in your Miracle Cash and More account. Then every month there's an offer from us to buy those Phoenix at the average price that we have on the market, and taking 20% of what we've sold to the market. So if we sold $10 million, then we have $2 million to buy Phoenix back from the people who have the packages. So however many that is, we're going to have that number soon. It will be evenly split by every single one. So for instance, if it's say, $2,000 worth at 30 cents, then you would be able to sell $2,000 worth of Phoenix to us at 30 cents. So you would get the 2,000, we will get the Phoenix from you. And then once we get all that Phoenix back, we're going to destroy that Phoenix as a company. So those Phoenix will disappear from our total supply, and it will continue to deflate and have less Phoenix tokens.
Well, we're already going live in the next 2 or 3 weeks anyway, so it makes no sense really to do anything with the beta. I just might as well keep running the nodes or selling the nodes, right?
I don't understand the question, Judith.
Like, I don't
like
need to
during
worry.
during beta, once a month, you'll be able to cash out 210 per node.
Okay, so now let's say I want to sell the nodes. Pretend you want to sell me the nodes. how do I sell the nodes and share with people when they're going to get paid or how they're going to get paid? Can you teach me my selling point of how they earn money and they're
I
going
don't
to?
know if that's going to be necessarily your job. I think the presentation should do
Uh-huh.
most of that.
Okay.
And then again, I have to acknowledge it is a little bit of a challenge with the nodes, because the nodes are so unfamiliar with people that it could be that, you know, it takes a while to really understand the nodes, and you could get questions that might be questions that you have a hard time answering because you haven't fully connected the dots, because it is a little bit of that going on here. I have to acknowledge
I
that.
just don't get how we get
But
paid.
what we can do is we can just to support people, we can do something like this with prospects, maybe once a week or something, where they can come on and ask the hard questions to help support that. Another thing that I'm doing, or what we're doing as a company, is we're working to have an AI generated system that responds to a human voice. So it's a conversational system where, you know, everyone who's wanting to explain something about our company can actually do a 3-way call with a conversational AI to answer those hard questions, the data, the dates, the specs, and everything on how everything works. So that's another thing that we're working on. It's not ready yet, but at some point very soon, we'll have that type of support where, you know, Judith doesn't have to be a node expert, because we'll have an AI helping her with answering the questions.
Yeah, like a little script of just that part where you just explained to me, now I understand the beta, now I understand the buyback. If I just had that little script, oh, you're going to get paid every time you run it, and then buyback or whatever, it would just roll off really easy because I could sell it. I just need the understand a little
And
part.
it goes forward.
Okay.
Hey, if you just if there's someone that's like you're talking to and they have some tricky questions, I mean, I'm your upline, so try to send me a message and I'll see if I can help you with that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
Oh,
your time.
Yeah, I see that the white paper question comes up again. So we've finished the white paper. We have given the white paper to the experts who are working with us on our launch to make sure that there's nothing in there that's going to hurt us, and to maybe put some finishing touches in there on things that will help us. You know, once you put the white paper out and, you know, the industry gets their hands on it and reads it, you want to make sure that you don't have anything in there that's a thing that can hurt the company. So they are now looking at it as a final thing. Legal is also looking at it, make sure there's nothing in there that can hurt us, and then we will release it. So I think we're looking at this week, but I have to confirm. I'm going to connect with Hakan tomorrow morning to confirm, but I think we're at that stage, unless there's something that the expert is needing to change, whatever, that takes more time than that. But we are at the doorstep of that, and also for the Phoenic website to be complete.
Micah, can I add something, since I've been
Yes.
watching, listening to everything?
Sure.
Guys, you have to remember, if, you know, I can say this with beyond confidence, okay? Because I have been in nodes for years and years and years and years and years. Now, I'm going to add this because everybody thinks these, you know, just magically, you know, happen overnight. This is very technical. The nodes are technical, launching the coins are technical, all the above. Let me give you an example of one project, and Micah knows exactly what I'm talking about, and a lot of my team are on here. They know what I'm talking about as well. Green, we bought our green miners first quarter of 2018, okay? last month, okay, we're in what, January? So from 2018 until last month, they weren't on CoinMarketCap. I mean, people could go sell them on like MetaMask or, Uniswap or something like that, but it's just now coming to market. So it's really not even on exchange yet. The other example I have is Gala. We bought our Gala nodes. I was the very first, one of the very first people who helped launch Gala. And we bought our nodes last quarter of 2019. Guys, we couldn't liquidate anything. We didn't get a buyback allowance. We didn't get anything. All we could ever do, and of course we're still doing it, is run our nodes. Gala did not go on an exchange, so we had no liquidity, zero, okay, until December of 2021. Okay, so if you think these things happen overnight, you know what, in this industry, you just have to get used to. This is technology, okay? There's going to be delays. It's not like it's being done intentionally. It's just what happens in the industry. And the market dictates, so Micah doesn't have this, crystal ball where he can say, we're going to sell $10 million in a month, or we are going to sell 50 million or 100 million. It's all market driven. So please don't. How much did you pay for those nodes? It was kind of all over the place. They started, I think, green nodes started at like $500. And I know they're about 6,000 something now. Gala nodes started at $800. And they are, 90,000. And Micah has spoke about that. But guys, my whole point is please be patient. It's all about, okay, when am I going to see my money? When am I going to see my money? You are going to be so happy when this happens. You need to calm yourselves down. You need to get the negative out of your heads, okay? Because it's just a very short time, before this is all going to be pulled together and you're going to be ecstatic, okay? So get the negative out right now, be a little bit patient. And I mean, we're talking September, they launched the nodes, right? September. Guys, September to June. What time frame is that? Okay, you definitely didn't have to wait as long as we did, but I became a multi-millionaire because I was patient and I kept running my nodes. Okay, same with green. Okay, Stan says, yes, I have 17 nodes. I had 85. I sold a few of them to help my team out because they'd gone so high. But I still have 64 nodes that I run. Okay, and I'm still running them today. I'm waiting to get them on an exchange. In fact, I'm working with Micah and Hakan.
Oh, can you share that, Kathy? That was really
green
cool.
to miracle.
Can you share what you said to me today about the Gala that you're earning?
What do you mean? What I'm earning?
Where do you sell it?
Oh, where do I sell it? Yeah, guys, anybody who has Gala, ever since I started here and found out when I earned my first commission, right? Of course, I went to Miracle and went to exchange it. And I was just like, oh my God, Gala. They have Gala on Miracle Exchange. Guys, it's only 2%. I mean, those of Exodus is like what, 3.5? Correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, 3.5 or 4% when you exchange it. Why not come over here and support our company and you're paying less fees? So everybody needs to be exchanging their Gala here. And if we can get green there, guys, this is it. You don't need to go to Uniswap. You don't need to go anywhere else. Do it here.
Yeah,
Okay, you're
and
saving
just
yourself
everyone
money and it's easy.
So everyone understands, because people can get sucked in criticism and negativity, but understand this, like just the fact that you can go on to Miracle and, do an exchange, get your crypto out, have the thing work and all that. It's not easy to just build an exchange. It doesn't just happen. It's a serious, complex technology to actually have an exchange that works. We had someone that came to the office. He had invested $2 million in a team so they would build him an exchange, to have his own exchange and have it work. And he spent $2 million and he had nothing because they didn't pull it off, So it's not just like, oh yeah, it's a really big deal to just have a functional exchange that works, that, Catherine bring her gala in, sell it, get whatever she's getting, USDT or whatever, and then, cash it out. So that's a really, serious deal to have all that built, have it all functional. We just spent a lot of money on upgrading our UI and UX. So that's going to start to change over the next 3 or 4 months. We will have one of the best companies in the world, basically build what the experience is on our exchange. So it will be upgraded by 10 levels, and it wasn't cheap. Let me tell you, it was a big bill, but it's the same company that built Visa's website. So we will get better and better and stronger as our company evolves. So that's kind of what Kathy's saying. It seems like a long time for you guys. It seems like a long time. When this actually starts to pay out, you'll look back at it and go, that wasn't so long. That was actually a reasonable amount of wait for what we're getting, for what the results are. It's only now that you don't have the results. It seems like forever because, we're all eager to get there. But just know, it's patience is such a big thing in this industry. A lot of people don't make money in the industry because they don't have the patience. They buy a coin at some point, the coin comes and goes down 30% lower, 40% lower. They sit there and wait, and then they'll either lose patience with that particular coin, sell it, and buy another one. And then when they sell the one that they were sitting on, that one now shoots up by 200%, and the one they bought goes down even further. And that's usually the psychology behind these things, because it's a kind of that weakness of us, right? The patience of being able to wait it out. Explain to people, even if you bought Bitcoin in 2010 for 40 cents and you bought 100,000 of them, who would still have it? Think about it. You bought 100,000 at 40,000, and maybe the next year that 40,000 has turned into 500,000. Do you hold on to it? Do you not? A lot of people who bought a lot of it early days don't have it now. It's an amazing thing to be able to have that kind of patience to get rich, and it really is really a lot about that, maturing enough to have that resilience, to stick with something long enough to get there, So, you guys have heard this before. I don't want to be a broken record, but I definitely want to try to bring everybody into understanding the rhythm of crypto and, like Kathy was bringing up. Yeah, I got millions of green. I'd love for green to get to like $1. Be nice. But yeah, that's that's a long time. That's been 5 years. So that's kind of the reality of various things that happen in the industry. All right, where are we
Well,
at with everything?
How about last question from Brian, and we'll wrap it up. Micah, you've done an amazing job in answering all of these questions today. I just want to say kudos to you. You have been working tirelessly, and we know the amount of questions this community has had. And I think this was just a really great call. I hope you guys all feel that and know that, and I hope you've gotten the answers that you were looking for. And I just want to say, Micah, thank you for being an incredible leader for all of this, but this call especially was really great. So thank you for that. So
Well,
Brian,
those of
yeah.
you, some of you are in the group that we want to go out and share this with the world and tell everybody about it. Consider doing that during this 4 weeks. Share that 4-minute video. We will post it in the group. You guys can just put it on Facebook and what Kathy does, she just says like, oh, I'm having so much fun with these nodes, or she'll say something about them. She won't say contact me to buy some. She'll just post what she's doing, and she won't tell anyone to reach out to her, but they do all the time. That's how she built all her teams, is just giving the information on what's going on and not sounding salesy on Facebook, just celebrate it. Then people do reach out to you, and that's when you can send them more information, and then they can buy some nodes. 2 things happen there. You could be changing someone's life, and you make some commissions.
All right, Brian, let's wrap it up with Brian. Last question, keep it on topic, and go for it. Unmute.
Yeah, thanks, Melanie. And to reiterate what Melanie just said, thanks, Micah. Great session. Thanks to you and you, Melanie, for reading all the questions, and Ed for opening it up. So great session. Just a quick one, Micah, and I'm probably showing my naivety here. When I bought my node, it was it's still at $1,000, earning the 25 points a day, and I kept hearing multiply that by 111. What does that mean, and is that still in place?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've gone through different stages during this early part of the node program, where we wanted to award people with a lot of Phoenic in the beginning for being early buyers, rewarding them with a lot of Phoenic in the conversion. So it's for each point you get 111 Phoenic. So 25 times 111 would be the total for that day, and the next day and the day after that. Then it gradually became less and less as we were moving the schedule forward. So now it's, I think, 14 per point.
Yeah, I put it in here, even though it says current 111, that's when that document was created. That's not right now, but it does say, I just posted the dates and the Phoenic it changed to. So
what will happen is that those points, depending on how many times you ran it during each particular award level, all that will be calculated and then deposited into your Miracle Cash and More account as Phoenic. And I think Kathy was showing a schedule on what that would be if it was every day since the beginning. And I'm going to re-look at what's happening with the awarding Phoenic on nodes, and have a discussion with the team to see if we need to adjust the amount of Phoenic that people are getting. And I'll be talking to everybody about that, but we'll continue to update people on that. Hope that answered your question.
Thanks, Micah. Appreciate it.
awesome.
Thank you.
All right, let's close it out. You guys have been amazing. 2 hours on this call. Micah, again, thank you so much for your patience, and taking the time. I know it's late out in Cyprus, so thank you for staying up for this community and for,
do another, what is it today, Wednesday?
You want to wait till
Let's
next?
do another. Yeah, let's do another on Monday.
on Monday.
Is that a bad day? Monday,
Well,
Monday?
I come in on Sunday, so I was thinking maybe Wednesday, just to give us the time to, if we were putting, if you're thinking shares, I'm
We'll
just
get
thinking-
back to you guys with the next session like this,
Yes,
but we'll do it very soon. We'll do it very soon.
yes, within the week, but yeah, I think we'll
Yeah.
push to Wednesday. Okay. All right, unmute, say goodbye. Thank you, everybody.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you.
See you later. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone. Great
Awesome session.
call.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Hey.
Great session.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Awesome
Thank you.
session. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks for the info.
Thank you so much.